All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I guess I don't need the headphones. Welcome to another weekend AMA where every week we take your phone calls. And, today's Thursday, but I actually have tomorrow off. So it's the weekend for me. I'll be looking at houses tomorrow all day. And, don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today, I think is the saying. So here we are on Thursday. Hopefully we'll get some new people come in here and we can answer their questions as well. But for those of you who are new, every week we do one of these, the live stream. And this week I usually start with a question or a statement or whatever's going on in my life and on my mind. And so today I wanted to sort of talk about how I find myself in an interesting, not predicament, but an interesting state of mind where I assume that for the first 3 or 4 jobs I would have, I would be job hopping, leaving for higher salaries, and that would really be my life. I wouldn't spend more than 6 months to a year at a job, and not because I like interviewing, not because I like job hopping. That all sucks. What I tend to like is money, and statistically speaking, you'll usually get larger raises if you leave a company than stay at a company, and that for the most part is a universal truth, and especially in software. So to my surprise, I'm very happy with my money situation, and I find myself in a different state of mind where it's not about job hopping anymore. It's not really an option. I mean, it's always an option to job hop, but it's not really something that would be that financially beneficial anymore or would be worth the time, effort, and energy. And so I find myself in a situation where I actually can set down roots at a job and work my way up, whatever that may be. That could be probably for me, the direction that I would go just today. If someone asked me, where do you want to be 5 years from now? I could say 1 year from now, I want to have senior in my title. 1 year after that, I want to be a team lead. 1 year after that, I want to be a manager. Down the road, by the end of the 5 years, I want to be a manager of the front end or something like that. That would be today's statement. But really, what I want to do is just get better and keep progressing my career. And so when you're trying to work your way up in a company, and this is something I've been thinking about, a little bit, where now that part of my life is halted, right? Now that the money's good, now that I'm not looking, I've uninstalled LinkedIn off the phone. I'm not taking recruiter emails. I'm not taking recruiter phone calls. I'm not responding back to messages. I'm not interested. I am happy. I am content. I love the place I work at, and now everything's good. And that whole job hopping part is done for the next foreseeable future. We'll say 2 to 3 years, I would say, where it's not even in here for the next 2 years. I don't even think about it. 2 years minimum. All right. So we're saying, all right, we're going to spend at least another 2 years here. Now it's about what can I do for the company for them to recognize my value even more so than they do already? What can I do to stand out? And so when you're trying to climb your way up, and I know, here's the thing, is I don't expect anyone to believe me about anything until I do it. Fair enough. You drop out of college, you say you're going to become a software developer. Everyone I know says, sure you are, except my baby. And say, good luck with that. Then you do it. You say, all right, I'm going to go get, a large salary. And there's a, sure you are, you're going to make $20, $10 an hour. You go and get it. Good job. No one believes you. You're going to start a YouTube channel and start putting content out there and start making more than $20 a month. Sure you are. Good luck with it. You're going to go and work your way up a company in 2 years' time, 3 years' time. Sure you are. Good luck with it. So I don't expect anybody to believe me, but I think it's relatively simple. The same things that made you successful, you continue to do those. You continue to have those traits. You continue to grow and advance. You don't get content, and you take on new tasks. Earn your keep, right? So when you're thinking about working your way up in a company, and even as a software developer, understand you are owed nothing. You are owed nothing. You have to earn your keep. You have to earn your keep where, all right, they're paying you X dollars. They're not just paying you X dollars because you're a great conversationalist. They're not paying you X dollars because they like you. Nothing like that. It's because you have value. It's time for you to show the company you have more value. So when opportunities come, they say, there's this high stress, high priority project. You're the first one that says, let me get a piece of that. When they say, hey, Dylan, we're starting some committees. Do you want to be a part of it? Let me in that. I want in that. That sounds exciting. You know, you start becoming a team player in the sense, no one's telling you to work extra, but you are being part of these extracurricular, if you want to think of them, those optional items that don't affect your review, but could help you. Those things, you start becoming part of that. You start growing. You start volunteering for those items, and you start talking the talk. You start talking with your managers about what your goal is, what your direction is, and you make it very clear. You know, if you haven't asked your manager what their direction for you is, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because I personally think you should always have those conversations. One thing my work does, and I absolutely love this, and I would, if I was ever in management, I would start doing it every week. I have a weekly 15-minute meeting with my manager every week. Every week we sit down. What's going on, Dylan? What's on your mind? How can I help you? What questions do you have for me? That is something that I have always loved about the company I work for. So if you can set up something like that with your work, or sit down with your boss, it gives you the opportunity to say, look, I'm working hard. I'm trying to keep going. What do I need to do? Give me a list, right? Like, do you remember when you were kids and your parents wanted you to clean the house, but all you wanted to do was go play Super Nintendo? At least this is my scenario. And you said, I don't want you to tell me to clean. I want you to tell me what you want me to clean. Just give me a list, Mom. Just give me a list, Dad, and I'm going to knock it out, and then we're good. You can kind of have that mentality where, what can it be that I can succeed? You say, in a year from now, you know, if my goal is to go and get senior on my title, what is it that I need to do to accomplish that? Those are the conversations that you can have. Those are the conversations that you should have. You know, it's so, you know, if you have that, you know where they want you to go, you know what you need to do, and you volunteer, and you the things that you already start going in the direction and picking up the traits of those things that you want to have. So when you're trying to work your way up at a company, at a position, you just do it. You put in the work, you do the extra stuff, you embrace the culture. You know, it's no longer, I'm just looking out for me. I'm looking out for us, right? Sometimes you say no. Sometimes you have to be the one to say, you know what, boss man, you're wrong here. Let me show you the light, because no one wants a yes man, you know? So think about that when you're working you're at a company. I'm still learning all this, and this is sort of my goal for the next 2 years, but at the very least. But it's a very strange position to be in, because I never really worried about it. I never really say, you know, I'm just collecting a check, bettering my skills, and, you know, I'll probably be on my way. It's so fun. It's so fun because it's a different mentality, man. It's almost liberating to a degree. So, you know, am I excited to take on the additional stuff? Yeah, man. It sets you out of your comfort zone, for one. And honestly, your job as a developer is so much more than just writing code. Your job's to mentor other devs. Your job's to pair program, to help others, to continue your learning, to be part of the company, and you know, help other departments, and, you know, participate in your agile ceremonies. There's so many different parts of your word I'm looking for is job, that sometimes people think it's just the code. That's only half the battle, man. And that's the half that everyone can do. If you can separate yourself apart by doing the other half, which a lot less people can, you're going to be doing great. It is hard to believe me. I don't expect you to believe me, man. I don't. I really don't. I'm okay. if you're looking for external validation in life, you're going to have a rough time. I've talked about this before, where I don't need my parents to be proud of me or my girlfriend to be proud of me. What I want is to be proud of myself. That's it, man. Because I know what it took to do what I need to do and what it takes, and the things I'm doing outside of work. So anyhow, 7 new positions, 3.5 years, current organization. Damn, man, that is a new job every 6 months. That's you're really pulling the trigger. That's a hard thing to do. What are some what if some of the projects are not interesting and you aren't excited to take them on? You might be at the wrong company. That's the truth of the matter. And not everyone, here's the thing, is not every developer is going to be super excited about things, and that honestly may hurt you. It may hurt you to say, look, I don't really like to code outside work because I'm not, it's just a job to me. That's fine. Does that mean that you're not going to do well at your job? No, you're probably going to do fine. But does that mean that it's probably going to hurt you in one way or another? It could. It most definitely could. What do you think about sneakily doing stuff at your company to improve it? I think you're playing a dangerous game, updating things without permission. Now, if you can say, hey, if you can just get a general baseline that, hey, I'm going to update our spas to be more secure and to the latest, great. I think you should do it, no problem. But if it's against their policies, you're playing a dangerous game. I can appreciate it though. What's going on, David? Do I have a morning routine? Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, for the last 3 months or so, I've been working out. So my schedule is I do 30 minutes in the morning and a walk around the complex, right, to warm up. Walk around the complex, go to the gym, the complex gym, the apartment complex gym. Spend 30 minutes in there doing cardio, lifting, whatever it is, and come home and I work on the YouTube channel. I write my book. For those of you who don't know, I'm writing a book. It's about 8,000 pages right now. I'm looking for about 200 to 400,000 words. It's going to be about a 1.5 year long project, I think. But every morning I wake up at 6:30 if my alarm goes off. I'm usually up somewhere between 5 and 6 though, man. I wake up before my alarm gets off and I hop on YouTube, not like on YouTube. I'm working on YouTube stuff. I'm working on course stuff. I'm writing the book. I put in time at work, and then when I get home, I answer emails. I do a lot of the same stuff I do in the morning, except there's now follow-up at night. There's a lot of stuff that's involved in sort of running a YouTube channel, believe it or not, especially start dealing with sponsors and every night before I go to bed, I read a chapter of a technical book, trying to progress that way. So, but that's my morning routine. 2 days on, 1 day off for the gym. I'm preparing to what should I do about feeling ready to apply for jobs? Just keep practicing every day. There's one thing that I could stress to you is continue to apply yourself every single day. Continue to learn skills and learn the job market and what it takes, and just every single day work towards it. Work towards it every single day for the first 5 years of your career, and then you'll be set. You should go to meetups as soon as you can. Yeah. Work on projects, go to meetups. There's a lot. Here's the thing. When you go to college, you're going to get a foundation, but you're not necessarily going to be ready. You're not going to have the skills. And if you can graduate with a CS degree and the skills, guess what? You're in the top 10%. You're going to do fine. But the problem is the skills don't necessarily come because you went and got a CS degree. So it's kind of a catch-22. You got a good in on the resume. But you're not quite there skill level. So you can do things like build a portfolio. You can do things like building projects, starting a side project. There's lots of different things that you can do that would be very beneficial to your career. But the thing I would stress is just do something every day. It could be reading a book. It could be doing algorithms on code fights, or which is now Code Signal. I don't know why they changed their name to Code Signal. Code Fights is such a better name. Getting a CS associate degree and a bootcamp good combo. I mean, what do you? It's not. That's not gonna. I mean, the thing is about your skills, man. You're asking a guy who has no bootcamp, no CS degree, is a 2-time college dropout, who works as a developer and makes really good money doing it, right? So is that going to help? Of course it is. Would a bachelor's in CS help more? Of course. Would a master's help even more so? Absolutely. But really, it's going to be about you putting in the work, getting better, grinding, and building those projects. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees at all. We have people come in who we interview who have CS degrees, and they can't do for loop problems, right? And what do we do then? Do we just move on to till someone can do the whiteboard problem, right? Well, all right. Well, the CS degree was enough to get you into the interview. That's great, but it turns out that you don't know the fundamentals of software development. You don't understand control flow, logic, variables. What do we do then? You got a CS degree, but you don't understand loops, and you don't understand if, else's. I guess we're done here, right? And so you go through so many of these that by the end of it, it's not about your paper. I've known developers who don't even look at your resume. They just show up and they interview you. Oh yeah. HR passed you through. We don't care about your resume. We're just going to ask you questions. We're going to see if you answer them right, and we're going to go from there. So here's the thing, guys, and Final Boss is saying, are there really that many bad devs? The answer is yes. I mean, think about it this way. If I told you you can make 6 figures without a college degree, and that there's a ton of jobs, people are hiring, how many people do you think says, that's a sweet deal, man? That's a sweet deal. I'm just going to hop on Codecademy for 2 weeks, get me my 6 figures, and move forward, right? It's a phenomenal amount. The amount of cheating that goes on in colleges on top of it, and people getting degrees just because they can memorize things, they don't learn things, that's another thing. But yes, it happens all the time. And I've said this time and time again. There is not a shortage of developers. There is a shortage of good developers. If you become a good developer, you will be fine. If I were to ask you right now to do FizzBuzz, and you couldn't do FizzBuzz, what are you going to do? You ain't going to get the job. That's about as easy of an algorithm as you're going to get as FizzBuzz. Should I stay at home and learn 4 to 6 months to get a job at my dream company? Or should I take my current knowledge at a smaller company, which I don't particularly like? You should take the job, get the resume experience, and in the next 4 to 6 months, continue to get better, leave to go try and work at your dream company for more money. That's absolutely what you can do. That's what you should do. Can't do the fizz buzz challenge. Get the fuck. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I didn't believe it either, man. I had my tech lead telling me, Dylan, I'm not bullshitting you. And by the way, I did the same interview, right? So I did as a candidate. I give the same interview a year later for future candidates. And I'm not bullshitting you, man. No joke. You get to the whiteboard problems and struggle. I've said it time and time again. Practice your algorithms. Practice whiteboarding problems. Practice solving things and thinking like a developer. If you can get that, you can get fat checks, without a doubt. Your wife is upset about my swear. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm 30 years old. I don't even here, Gino, here's the thing. I don't even know what I said, what I swore about. I don't even remember. All right. But yeah, so back to what I was fucking saying. No, I'm just kidding, Mrs. Fernandez Jr. I apologize for my language, but I do normally talk like this. So anyhow, does doing projects count as practices solving algorithms? No, man. Projects are like building things. Projects are like what your actual work is. Algorithms are more about seeing if you understand how to code and problem solve. The things that you're actually... So Sketo says, I did this exactly what you said for 1.5 years at a company. I didn't manage to learn anything new because most of my tasks were build layouts using HTML, CSS, and I already knew how to do that. Yes, except no one told you not to learn outside of work. I was saying take the job, get the resume experience outside of work, spend 2 to 3 hours a day, more on the weekends, learning those skills that are going to level you up. If you spent 18, here's the thing. If you spent 18 months at a job, never getting any better, that's on you. It's not on the company. It is not on the company's job to make you more marketable. It's not on the company to make you a better developer. That is on you. That is how you succeed. All right. And you should want to do it. And if you're thinking that the company's paying you for 40 hours a week to show up so you can become a better dev, no. Would they like it? Yes. What they want features built. They want bugs to be fixed. You know, they want projects started and projects completed. That's all they want. They don't want to say, hey, man, I want Dylan to be a better developer, so I'm going to give him 20 hours a week to study. No. You know. What I prefer to work at for? I mean, a medium to large company because they can pay well. There's usually more room for growth. If you're at a medium-sized company, here's the thing. I wouldn't prefer a large company, small company. I would prefer a growing company because companies that are growing and expanding, there's a lot of room for growth for you. There's a lot of ways for you to move up the ladder. You know, if your dev department's going from 8 devs to 24 in the next year, guess what? Who do you think's getting promoted? If the 8 people that were there, who do you think is going to be managing those other 16 people? The 8 people that were there. Who's going to be given more responsibility because they know the systems and they've built them. They've worked on them. They're going to be training the future cadets, if you will, the 8 people that were there. So, you know, that's what I would want because that is the highest chance for success. That is the highest chance for you to work your way up in a company. Back to what we talked about in the beginning of this video, right? Yeah. They can't do a for loop. They just wasted 4 years of their lives on that degree. Joshua, man, look, guys, I didn't believe it either. Schedule. No excuses, dude. If you're working 9.5 hours a day, overtime, I don't know what to tell you, man. You got to put the hours in. I was working a full-time job too, and I wasn't coding. I wake up, put 2 hours in, get home, put 2-3 hours in. On the weekends, do 8 to like 12 hours. Does it suck? Did I not want to do it sometimes? Did I hate that was what I had to go about? It's always going to be hard, man. No one said it. Not once have you ever told me that it's easy. Not once I've ever said, yeah, man, it's easy. I don't know what's doing it. It's hard. It's going to always be hard. Because you are going to be doing things other people can't do. You're going to be putting in effort other people don't want to put in. You know? Do you think every morning I wake up and I first thing I do, I get a shower and I start answering emails. I start coding things. I start recording videos. You know? You think I want to go to the gym? I hate that treadmill. I hate it with a passion like no man should hate an inanimate object. But I put my mile in there every morning. All right? When my girlfriend squeezes me fresh juice that's bitter and sour and it's got like spinach in it, you think I enjoy drinking that? No. You think there's some nights I go to bed where I'm tired and the last thing I want to do is read? No, man. But I do it because I understand that the short-term pain, the short term of putting the brakes on instead of holding down the steady acceleration, I understand that down the road that will pay off. That's what I understand. And so, are you going to be tired? Yes. Are you going to be frustrated? Yes. Are you going to be angry? Absolutely. May you come to tears sometimes if you're trying hard enough. I know I have. It's life, man. It's rough. It's hard. No one gets a participation trophy anymore. You know what I mean? Just because you show up to work doesn't mean your career progressed. Just because you did you put in a little bit of time doesn't mean you're going to get more money. That's up to you. You have to hold yourself accountable. And it is without a doubt rough. It is without a doubt tiring. But it's up to you. There's no teacher of life to say, hey, Dylan, did you do your reading? Because that's really important. Did you go to the gym today? No. You know what happens? I stop going to the gym. I start getting breasts. I stop studying. My career stops progressing. Right? I can't get rid of the stomach no more. It just continues to get worse. It's rough, man, and it's always going to be hard. Don't ever expect it to get easy. What you can expect are results, though, if you're consistent and you put the work in. And by the way, I say this as somebody who recently got a pay raise and recently got a promotion and am very happy. And I got all my major benefits in the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks or so. Major milestones. And you know what I did? I worried about working less. I worried about being content because I understand what it means to be content and what it means to take that break off the acceleration instead of the steady grind. Anyhow, what was I talking about? I think you guys just getting me riled up on these AMAs, man. Welcome to the ceremony when you get your free code camp certificate. Is there a ceremony for that? I don't think there's any ceremonies. Treadmill is pointless. I don't know, man. Count your calories. I'm struggling with the diet things. When I buy a house, I promised myself that I'd actually start counting calories in the diet a little bit more. Winter online boot camp and now 3 months of my first job. Good for you, man. How did spinach get in the juice? You put it in there, man. You juice it. You can juice it. You can juice anything. With the book still in the works, if I had any writer's block, no. You know, I have so much that I've wanted to talk about on this channel that for the most part, and with what's going on in my life, I tend to just write, like anything I do a video about, it's because I've written a chapter about it recently. That's what's on my mind. That's what I'm going through. And that's why I've always tried to use YouTube as a way of sort of channeling my learning process and channeling what's going on in my life. And it's like I'm a software developer that does YouTube, not a YouTuber that does software, is how I like to put it. And that's because it's very easy to get caught up in that cycle. And you know, if you look at it this way, where YouTube is an asset to my software developer career, where I'm going to learn things and then just benefit by throwing it out there. You know, that's how I do it. And so, but basically what I'm trying to say, on top of just writing about whatever I'm doing videos on, is I have a whole catalog of videos for things that I've wanted to talk about. Now I have the opportunity at the very least to write about it, right? And so I haven't had any writer's block at all. But I'm also fairly early on. I'm 7,000 or 8,000 words into what I'm estimating to be a 200,000 to 400,000 word book. So we're still getting started, you know. How long have I been working at my current job? About a year. It'll be a year next month. I'm coming up on my second year as a developer, boys. Which, by the way, I have an excellent video coming up talking about what I learned and accomplished in my second year, a single year as a developer. You might be surprised by how much you can accomplish if you put in a little bit of work. So look forward to that. I think it's going to be an excellent video. By far the most entertaining development last year. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just telling you the truth. That's the thing. I'm not going to bullshit you, man. I'm not going to be up here telling you that, you know, you're going to be making the big bucks right when you start. Absolutely not. I say all the time not to worry about money for your first job. Your first job is that resume experience. That's all it is. Get that resume experience. And while you're there, get better with the technologies there. Get better outside of work. Continue on. The problem is a lot of people get that first job, never get better. Would you consider yourself a mid-level developer as these 2 years? Absolutely. I would say mid. I can tell you that my manager and my director have told me that they consider me upper mid to senior level based off my skill. So that's from the people who manage me. So, which is a nice thing to say, and it is appreciated, right? Because I do put in a lot of work, and you know. Hey, shout out to our Poland brothers out there and sisters. How would you set up a schedule if you had to work 3 days part-time, 15 to 20 hours? If you only had to work 3 days? I mean, are you saying you only had 3 days to work? Or so first off, I'd set up a schedule where I work every day, every single day in different directions. So like some days you'll do algorithms, some days you'll do projects, some days you'll go to meetups, some days you'll watch videos. You know, there's a lot of great videos like Coding Tech. But consistency is what you really need to do. And there's a ton of great projects that you can build, ton of different ideas that you can shoot around, but really just enjoy it and continue growing, man. Every single day, you know, I put in somewhere between 2 to 4 hours on the weekdays and 8 to like 12 on the weekends when I was really diving in deep with a full-time job, by the way. That was with a full-time job. What does a bad developer look like? Looks like me. Looks like you. I don't know. I don't know to tell you. I mean, what is a bad developer? Might be a better question. I mean, a bad developer doesn't have any, you know, it's not like the white nerdy guy or, you know, the short girl that they look like varies. Like just like what does a good developer look like? What makes a bad developer? Somebody who hasn't grown. If you look, here's the thing. If you go back a year and look at your code and you think it looks fine, guess what? You didn't grow at all. All right. You any code you wrote a year ago and you think, man, that's pretty clean. Guess what? You haven't progressed at all. You should be, to a degree, embarrassed by the shit you wrote a year ago. You should look back at that and say, you know what? I have to refactor this shit today because this is on my GitHub. This isn't where my skill level's at. I'm gonna refactor it. So in my personal opinion, a bad developer is somebody who is somebody who's not progressing and somebody who hasn't put in the work to get to where they need to be. That's my take on a bad developer. What if I don't want to work my way up a company and just want to do the work? There's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not everybody wants to work their way up in a company. Not everybody wants to go and become a better developer. That's fine. There's plenty of bad developers with jobs, and there's good developers who have actually put the time in, but they don't put any more in. They're content with where their career is at. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you got to that good level. And then there's developers who are still growing even when they're good and even when they're exceptional, and they're trying to be the best. They're trying to go and excel. There's those guys too, man. I would like to hope that most of you want to fall into that category. I would like to hope that most people don't want to just be mediocre. Just don't want to be average. Average is a dirty word as far as I'm concerned. All right? Because you know why? The average person's lazy as shit. The average person does the bare minimum. The average person's useless. I hope you want to be better than average. That's what I hope. I don't want to be average. So, who saw Engineer Truth's Dolan video? No. For those of you who didn't see Engineer Truth's parody video on his channel about what it takes to make like a 7-figure income, it was to die for, man. Oh, dude, you guys have to go watch it. I loved everything about it. I told him he was channeling in the comment section. I told Matt he was channeling his inner Dolan for that video, and he hit me back with 2019 Dolan collab incoming or something like that. I was like, I'm gonna get the robe ready, son. Don't you even worry. The robe and the sunglasses are coming out. But yeah, it's been. I'm excited for that. Yeah, it's. I loved it. Why do C# devs get paid more than PHP devs? PHP is sort of the language of the web in the sense that PHP has been this open source debauchery of a language where it didn't really have any direction, and it's something that a lot of people have used. But C# is sort of the enterprise application to write more powerful web apps, and that's really it. At the end of the day, hey baby, the enterprise applications use that. They're the one. If you're working for mom and pop websites compared to, big corporations, who do you think has the more money? And that's not to say all PHP developers are working for mom and pop websites by any means, but I'm just making a generalization because you're talking about one giant thing versus another giant thing. We have to sort of make generalizations based off that. Sorry, Michael. I don't know too much about Hadoop development or big data, but I can say that just data analytics and big data is not going anywhere. It's excellent. It's high paying. Um, you know. Also, Ruben, to elaborate on that, there's more PHP developers than there are C# developers. Think about that. There's more of them because it's a C# was up until recently not open source, and it was also PHP has been out forever, and so there's less competition. There's plenty of people learning C#. They're teaching and a lot of college computer science programs, but there's a little bit less competition in that sense. What I think about web devs job growth, I can personally say that it's excellent. Any way to decide which tutorials, books to watch, read when learning a new language? Usually recommendations are pretty solid, man. If you have somebody who recommends books that you respect their opinion, those are the people you want to listen to, the mentors, the people you consider mentors, right? Part of the reason I do this is to share what has worked for me, to a degree mentor on a larger scale, I suppose, where there's 50 people here. We're mentoring. You want some books I could recommend? Check out the description. There's Clean Code, which is an excellent book, as well as the Clean Coder, which is also, there's links in the description for all these, and you can get your boy like a 3% affiliate cut if you want to help me out. But those are things that Clean Code is one that I think every developer should read so they can write cleaner and more high-level software. In terms of courses, tutorials, you just got to find the ones that work for you and find somebody who's, say, you know what, man, I respect this guy, this girl's opinion. What do they say to go learn? Because they're doing it, right? They're not all talk. They're not, they're not just popping their mouth off and, unemployed, doing videos from their house or something. They're out there doing it. Thoughts on free code camp? Prep me 60 days before a boot camp. Yes, but I would say, Seth, make sure it's not the only thing you're doing, man. Free code camp should be. Here's the thing, guys. A lot of times people are looking for that magic bullet. There's no such thing as a magic bullet in your learning. Free code camp should be one thing. Another thing you should be doing are building projects of your own, building portfolio. Another thing you should be doing is solving algorithms on sites like Code Signal, Code Fights. There's a ton of different things you should be doing. Did my work give me a laptop when I joined? Yes. Give us the wrong word. Did they lend me a laptop to work with during the extent of my employment with them? Yes, they did. Any tips on making less tutorial videos? I want to share my opinions instead of just coding, but not sure how to go about it. Opinions on coding? Just do it, man. That's what I did. Here's the thing, guys. I'm coming up on my second year as a developer. I've had a coding channel for 3.5 years. Let that sink in for you. I've been doing coding shit a year and a half before I got a developer job. So somebody said robot will replace people with code. What do you think? I think they've been saying that Wix and WordPress have been going to replace the front end. Yet here I am gainfully employed. When robots, they can barely get robots to jump upstairs. All right. Worry about some shit that's going to affect you in your lifetime. Here's the worst case scenario in our lifetime. The worst case scenario is that robots can write some code. That's the worst case scenario. From there, what developers go is they take a less code-driven role, still going to write code, and then they're going. Here's the thing you have to understand. Robots have to get requirements to write code. I can't even get requirements to write the code when I'm face to face. How's a robot supposed to know what to do? Explain that to me. Explain how the robot's supposed to know what to build if I can't face to face with the person getting me the requirements. You have to tell the robot. You have to tell the robot what to build. They can't tell us today what to build. Get out of here. And all you're going to be doing, do you know, to tell the robot what to build, you're essentially going to have to code what it needs to build. It's the same thing. You have to write it down in a way so that it can know what to build. Yeah. Did I say that Wix and Squarespace can't even do what a lot of companies want? Yeah, it's true. So there's a role for all of it. Small businesses, it has a great role, but you know, so many businesses are unique. So many businesses, especially larger businesses, they don't want to be held within the constraints of what some CMS can do. How do you get an invitation code for CodeFights? You don't need an invitation code. You just go to codefights.com. It's going to reload you to, it's going to redirect you to Code Signal now. But if it's self-aware, yes, because now our robots can turn on music because it listens for words, because it listens for commands. Look, man, if robots become self-aware, the last thing you need to worry about is your employment, okay? But yes, if we have artificial intelligence, guess what? A lot of things are going to change. And a developer's role, let's just say hypothetically, forget the self-aware part, but let's just say hypothetically, for whatever reason, developers write less code because now a robot has taken our job. They took our jobs, right? Your role as a developer will be into maintaining that robot in terms of the software. It'll be in terms of handling tools and software to help facilitate. You'll essentially, similar to how DevOps helps facilitate code going out, you will have a similar role of managing that process. So the role will slowly and gradually change, right? Jason Beston donated $2, says, you've been more helpful than $2, but I'm poor. I appreciate it, man. I'm buying a house. Everything is appreciated. Thank you so much. I know somebody in here is going to donate $20 now because they want to make Jason not feel so broke. No, I'm just kidding, but thank you so much, man. How much people do you need to maintain them? Look, man, Tamari, don't be one of the sky is falling. Here's the thing. If you have the ability to learn software, there will be other jobs in that niche to make it grow. There'll be other things that will make you succeed. And if you can learn software, you can learn anything. It is, if you are so worried, here, this is what really upsets me, I think, more than anything else. Software and technology has, for like the last 5 to 20 years, been some of the best paying, fastest growing, most amount of jobs in the, at least in the US market, for about 10, 15, 20 years. You can look up all the stats on this if you want. You don't have to take my word for it. I encourage you to do so. Why are we worried about the profession going out of business when we have 20 years of data of the exact opposite? Why? Because it's better to worry and make excuses, and it's easier than to actually put the work in. It's better to say, oh, you know, oh man, I don't know what to do, and not actually just sit down and do it. You know, that's why. That's why we have these conversations about, wow, man, software's gonna die any day when we get the self-aware robot. That's why. Because it's easier. It's easier to go ahead and say the sky is falling. Why even bother than to put in the work? That's why. That's why we have these conversations. I get it all the time, man. So don't be the sky is falling. Instead, look at the stats, look at the numbers, and go put the work in. That's what I want, man. I want us all to get better. I want us all to put the work in. I want us all to reap the rewards. How many more months for my races? They should be off by now, bro. I got this thing back on too. They told me 10 months. We're at like 11. I don't know. I'm going home. I'm going home to see the family in November. I hope it's off by then. Yeah, I should go pick up a Dreamcast. Although the only Dreamcast game I ever liked, it was a badass game, was Skies of Arcadia. If you've never played Skies of Arcadia and you like RPG games, Skies of Arcadia is one of the best RPGs of all time. You're essentially on a pirate airship. That's sort of the theme of the game. It was so dope. It was so dope. 30 years old with braces, man. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? Yes, the average person is lazy as hell. Yeah. I could have got Invisalign, but it would have taken 2 years to have them on, and it was triple or near 4 times the price. Think of learning Django or JS for the backend? Is that a good idea, Dylan? I couldn't tell you, man. I'm a front end developer through and through nowadays. But anyhow, guys, so they changed their name for some reason, some branding thing. Would I play an RPG that involves coding? I have actually. What is the God? What is that coding RPG? There's already something like that. I have it on my channel actually. Code RPG. Code Combat. CodeCombat.com is a coding RPG. It's actually a lot of fun, man. So I paid a flat rate. I want to say it was like $1,500 for the 10 months of braces because I didn't really need too much done. They just need to straighten them out. But it was going to be like $5,500 for Invisalign. All right, guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you again for the $2 earlier, my dude. I hope you don't become the average person. I hope you put in the work. I hope you put in the grind. I hope you put in the effort. I hope you don't make excuses for yourself. I hope that you're just gonna be the man, the woman you want to be. Yeah, be your own motivation. All right. So all I can tell you, man, is the things that have been successful for me has been consistency, has been making sure that it's fun, and has been making sure that I'm doing something daily. If you can do something daily, you'll get there, man. So good luck. Damn. All right, James. I was about to get out of here. But James, with the $5 donation, is going to keep us around for a short minute now. Your boy's happy to sell his time for $5. All right. Yeah. how could I not answer somebody who donates money? That's a bad precedent. I need to set a precedent that if you donate money, your questions get answered. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. So what are your thoughts on Free Code Camp doing long form videos in other programming languages? I am for Free Code Camp doing anything that supports software development. There's many great programming languages. I think JavaScript is one of them, and I happen to work primarily in JavaScript and the front end. But I think what Free Code Camp, although their platform is all JavaScript, I think what their goal is to just make people developers. And if they can go and teach other languages, they can go and build other projects, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I think that's an excellent thing that they're doing. And I'm very excited by that. And I'm, spoiler alert, your boy might be on their channel next week. Oh, hey, buddy. We're doing some stuff over here, buddy. But yeah, so I think it's excellent. At the end of the day, Free Code Camp's an open source. They don't run any ads on their videos. I really think they should. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Quincy needs to just take the ad money, man. At this point, it's probably going to be a couple grand. Like, take the money, Quincy. But I think it's awesome that we have that Free Code Camp has such a awesome community where people are taking their time, their energy, their effort to make those long form videos in programming languages and tutorials. I think that is really good. And I think it's great that they're opening it up because it's going to expand people's horizons, right? So let's say you only ever did JavaScript, but you never really knew, hey man, what is PHP used for? Why do I use JavaScript over C# and PHP and Ruby? But now you get exposed to that, and you'll start to realize that these languages are all very similar at the end of the day. So I think it's a really good thing, man. Thank you again, James, for donating $5. Tito thanks you. Say right? Huh, buddy. Oh, okay. It has been a pleasure. Oh, buddy. I'm gonna go hang out with the missus. Probably have a little bit of dinner. I love doing these weekend AMAs. Hey. Oh. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, buddy. Oh. Tito. God damn near fell off the table. Dad's got to end this live